What up, everybody? It's me, Dylan here, ready to hang out with y'all. If you're live with us right now on YouTube or on Facebook, let us know in the comments that you're there. I'm going to be joining you in just a few minutes, especially as we get into the video tonight. Really cool stuff. I got a game for us tonight, just something fun to kind of kick things off. But again, let us know if you're there. If you haven't subscribed and if you haven't hit that bell for notifications, do that now so that way you guys know when we're going live. We went live a few minutes late tonight. I apologize for that. We had a technical difficulty. Our camera was going wonky. I was trying to look directly in my face, but very close, and I didn't like it. So thank you for your patience, and thanks again for joining us tonight. We're gonna get started off right with the game. This is called Memorize It Emoji Edition. Actually, I think that's the wrong game. That's the wrong game. I have the wrong game up. Hold on. It's Old Test Emoji. All right. So game time. All right. So this is an Old Test emoji. All right. So this is Old Testament stories displayed out in emojis. So in the comment section, when you see it, pull it up. Type up whatever you think the story is from the Old Testament when you see these. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Ready? Got the cool sound effects. We're learning here. We're learning. All right. First one to let us know. Come on, let us know in the comment section what's going on. I'm gonna pull up YouTube while we're here. YouTube. Oh, no, I just want YouTube. All right, so that is Adam and Eve. If you didn't know already, which I'm sure most of you got that one, I'm trying to get on so I can see y'all. Again, technical difficulties today. I had technical difficulties with my laptop. I had technical difficulties with getting the game onto the thing. It's great. Our TV is being held up by a battery because it was sideways, and we're not. I don't know. I can't find our video on YouTube right now. That's okay. It's all good. I'm just going to ignore that. So, what else we got? Next one. Can you go on YouTube real quick? I'll play this and see if we're there. Oh, that's the same one. That's Adam and Eve again. This game is rigged. And now I lost the game. I'm like, what's going on here? It's going to the same one every time. I can't figure out what's going on right now. Hold on, let me get out of here. Let me try this again. All right, we're gonna go to edit. We're gonna go to play. We're gonna hit sound effects on screen. Okay, what's going on? Let's try again. See if we can get something other than Adam and Eve. No, we cannot. Okay, I'm over it. Well, with that said. We're just going to go straight to the video. I'm going to try and figure this out while the video is happening. So please continue to comment in the section. First thing that we got before we go to the video is there's something in the video that they're going to talk about, which is clothing. And I want you to go ahead in the comment section when the lady in the video, our good friend here at Orange, when she is talking about clothing and brand names and which ones you wear, think about your favorite clothing brand and let us know in the comment section what it is. Mine's for jeans, it's Levi's. For shirts or shoes, it's Vans. So, if you can break it up like that, you can. But let us know what your favorite brand of clothing is. Here we go.
Have you ever noticed how brands you wear seem to say something about the type of person you are? Whether that's a good thing or not, I'm not sure, but when I was in high school, that was exactly how it worked. For me, Abercrombie meant you were a preppy person. Hollister, maybe you were just a little bit more laid back. And Under Armour meant you were a sporty person. I don't know a lot of sports, but I'm assuming that's what it meant. Brands have always been something people use to express a little bit of who they are. or what they want people to think they are. They also tend to represent the group you are part of or you want to be a part of. For whatever reason, it seems like the brands we wear build the reputation we have. I'm not sure that clothes and accessories say everything about a person, but once you're rolling with a specific group and have a reputation, it can be hard to shake. But more than how the brands we wear contribute to what people think about us, our reputations are made out of all sorts of things and bring all kinds of assumptions about who we are. Just think about the various groups in your school and think about the assumptions that you have made about people who are part of them. Assumptions like, every rich kid is blank. All athletes are blank. The smart kids always blank. The cheerleaders are blank. The mathletes are blank. The kids who vape are blank. We often fill in the blanks about other people with our assumptions. Whether we know the person or not, it doesn't matter. We know their reputation, and to us, that says more than enough about them. And we may not know anything about this person other than the group that they are connected to. And yet, suddenly we feel like we know enough to make a snap judgment about them and write them off. So where do we get these assumptions from? Well, I think that they come from a lot of places, but 3 common ones stand out the most. First, experiences. We have experiences of what someone like them did or said to us, and we use those experiences to prejudge what this person is like. Second, limited perspective. If we know of something someone did or said that was wrong, we build an entire case about them being a bad person and take one thing that we don't like about them and make a judgment on everything about them. And third, insecurities. Sometimes our assumptions are formed from our own insecurities. The person that we're filling in the blank about has something that we want or wish we had. Maybe they have the starting position on the team, or the grade that we can't seem to achieve, or the house our family could never afford, and we just can't stand it. We automatically assume the worst about them because they remind us of how far we feel from being the best. Our personal experiences, limited perspective, and insecurities help shape the assumptions we make. They help fill in the blanks when we think about other people. And this can be a real problem if we really want to be known for love rather than hate. And if we're really honest with ourselves, filling in the blanks is sometimes another way to hate on people. Because often when we assume something based on our judgment, we don't fill the blank with something nice. We don't take the time to actually get to know the whole story of a person because we think that we have it all figured out. We don't give them a chance because we assume that our judgment is right. We make all sorts of assumptions about people we barely even know. Or we assume we know someone based on the group that they're a part of without even giving them a chance to show us who they really are. It's another way for us to hate on them without getting to know them. And the ironic part is that we would never want someone else to do this to us. So why do we so quickly do this to others? Why don't we slow down and challenge our assumptions? There's a moment from Jesus' life that may be able to help us. Jesus was in the middle of a tense encounter with some of the religious leaders in Israel at the time. These teachers of the law and Pharisees were a big deal in religious circles, and they had a brand of self-righteousness that they thought set them apart from everyone else. So when Jesus came around and started spending time with the people the religious leaders had branded as sinners, or people who weren't as close to God as they were, things got very tense. They actually started trying to catch Jesus off guard with questions that they hoped would prove that he was a phony. They wanted him to slip up and answer something in a way that took away his credibility and made him look bad. During one of these encounters, after some people had gathered to listen to Jesus teach in the temple, the religious leader caught a woman in an R-rated situation. So they dragged her in front of Jesus to see how he would react. So they dragged her in front of Jesus to see how he would handle the punishment. And I think that what happened here shows us a different way to live instead of filling in the blank about other people's reputation. Now check this out. As he was speaking, the teachers of the religious law and Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. They put her in front of the crowd. "Teacher, They said to Jesus, "This woman has been caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?" They were trying to trap him into saying something that they could use against him. Now, just to be clear about the awkwardness of this woman was caught in the sexual activity with someone other than her husband, or maybe even someone else's husband. And now she's on trial in front of Jesus. These guys wanted Jesus to condemn her to die. Now, I realize that this seems a bit extreme to us today, but the rules were pretty straightforward back then. If you behaved like her, then you get severe punishment. Now, these guys came to Jesus assuming they knew the rules and exactly how he was supposed to respond to this woman because of them. After all, God's son should know and follow the same rules as the religious leaders, right? Well, let's take a look at what happens next and see for ourselves. But Jesus stooped down and wrote in the dust with his finger. Now, they kept demanding an answer. So he stood up again and said, "All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone." Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. When the accusers heard this, they slipped away one by one, beginning with the oldest, until only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with the woman. Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." What a moment. I'm not sure we can fully understand the tension of this moment. These religious leaders who build their brand on appearing better than others and showcasing other sins are totally put in their place. So basically, Jesus was saying, you are quick to point out what everyone else is doing wrong, but what about you? Have you ever gotten it wrong? Then one by one, these leaders realized their plan backfired. Jesus kindly and lovingly releases this woman who is literally afraid for her life and tells her to go in freedom and to live her life differently. Can you imagine? Now, don't miss this. Everyone here was guilty of something, both the religious leaders and the woman. But Jesus didn't let this woman's guilt be the end of her story. He didn't let her mistake fill in the blanks for her life. Jesus challenged her to change by saying, "Go and sin no more." That was Jesus' brand, love. And it's exactly what you and I should be about too. But isn't it true that sometimes we are more on brand with the religious leaders? Don't we often fill in the blanks about other people based on their behavior one time? And maybe what they did was wrong, but maybe it was just something that we didn't like. And all of a sudden, we've decided that they are a certain way because of something we prefer or don't prefer. But Jesus' approach to this situation in the story teaches us something different. Everyone branded this woman as bad. Everyone judged her based on this one thing she had done. But Jesus saw her as more than this one thing. He didn't write a story about who she was because of what she had been caught doing. He didn't fill in the blank for her. He didn't see her with an assumption made about her or a judgment made about her. He saw her as a whole person. And as a whole person, he saw her as being deserving of another chance. Jesus proved that we are more than the assumptions and judgments of others. We are worthy of forgiveness, grace, and a second chance because of his love for us. And we can extend the same forgiveness, grace, and love to others too. What if this was the approach that you and I started to take when forming our opinions of other people? What if instead of filling in the blanks with assumptions and judgments, we chose to assume the best and judge everyone as people, not just by their actions? What if we chose to see them as being worthy of love? What if we chose to let love fill in the blank? This will change a lot about the way we think about and treat other people, wouldn't it? Not only that, This will also change a lot about the way we think of ourselves too. We may wind up realizing that we are not as terrible as other people made us feel, or we are not as perfect as we may think. There is something both encouraging and humbling about Jesus' approach. It puts us all on the same level as people God loves and people Jesus died to forgive and set free, not just a sum total of all of our actions. In other words, when we're filling in the blanks with judgment or hate, we're only seeing part of a person, their actions, whatever they did that was wrong or something that we didn't like. But when we fill in the blanks with love, we are seeing others as humans, more than what they have or have not done. We are seeing them as individuals worthy of love, grace, and forgiveness. So when the opportunities for assumptions and judgments start flying at you, take these steps towards a new approach. Stop and think about how others have filled in the blanks about you. When you're in the process of filling in the blanks for someone else with something other than love, stop. Stop and think about your own life. Now, don't get down on your imperfections, but instead remember how much grace and love you've needed to be where you are today. Remember, Jesus' forgiveness brought you to a place where your life started to change for the better. Then, treat other people the way Jesus had treated you, with grace and love, assuming their best days can be ahead of them. Next, think about how you have wrongly filled in the blanks for someone else. Who is someone you think you know, but you really don't? Who have you filled in the blanks for in a negative way without even learning their whole story? What if instead of filling the blanks about him or her with assumptions, you fill in the blanks with what you do know? Then start to get in the habit of challenging your assumptions about others, because now you do know the way Jesus sees them, as someone deserving of love, grace, and kindness. What if you chose to fill in the blanks about them with Jesus' brand of compassion? What if you chose to let love fill in the blank? When we choose to follow Jesus' example and take these steps, we are choosing to let love fill in the blanks instead of our quick and shallow assumptions and judgments. Jesus' example shows us how to form healthy opinions of others by filling in the blanks about them with love, not hate, using grace and truth. Just imagine what would happen if this is how we spend our time forming opinions of those around us. Instead of assumptions, stereotypes, and preconceived notions based on one part of a person, every opinion we form about others will be all about how worth loving they are. In fact, even if you're new to church or still unsure about all this Christianity stuff, wouldn't you want to be around a brand of people who treated others this way? If this is really what Jesus is about, doesn't it cause you to be a little more interested in his brand? We can be people who let love fill in the blanks about others. When we do this, we will be people known for our love of others, just like Jesus was, just like Jesus intended his people to be.
Welcome back, everybody. Awesome message. Let love fill in the blank. That's so true. I mean, especially now where everybody can be so quick to be judgmental with each other online, with all this stuff that's going on, all the world trying to move back to being somewhat normal, moving into different phases. I may have told some of you guys this already, but Becca had mentioned to me that she had a friend that wrote an article for a newspaper talking about the beaches opening back up in California, and that was the headline. The headline was like, beaches opening up in Orange County or something like that. And rather than reading the entire thing and like seeing the whole picture and seeing that she put, the actual restrictions in there, that it was only going to be for locals, for be able to work out, like you can't hang out there, she got so much hate mail because everybody would just jump to the idea that she was trying to say something that wasn't true. And if you read the article, she was. So it's the same thing. Like, don't be quick to judge. Don't throw the stone. We shouldn't, just as Jesus said, don't throw the stone unless, you're completely perfect and you've never been in their shoes and you've never sinned, because that's the only God has the ability to judge us. So Wear your brand, and you're not the brand that I told you to mention earlier in the comment section. Wear your brand as in wear your brand of your heart. Wear Jesus on your daily life, in the words that you speak and how you build people up. So awesome message. I really enjoyed this whole series. That was week 3 of Love Hate. So if you just need to reference this, if you need to listen to it again, that's why we have it on YouTube. So go back, listen to it if you haven't listened to the first 2 weeks. They all kind of conglomerate and commesh together a little bit. I just made a word, kamesh. Kamesh sounds like a good Jewish dish. Kamesh. I'm gonna go kosher on this. Okay. Anyways, thank you for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. We got the game to work. We got everything else up and running. Will and I couldn't see the comment section. We couldn't even find the video on YouTube. We're like, yeah, we're live. So we're here now. We're here with you in the comment section. I see you all here. And so we're going to go ahead and get started on this game right now. Let me get this up onto this. This is good. All right. Game time. Cool. Yeah, it's a cool graphic. You like that? I didn't make that. All right. I don't know who made that. All right. Title graphic off. I'm going to have to say this out loud. Here's the instructions. Can you name the Old Testament story told by these emojis? All right. I actually had a hard time with these, and I did a whole college class on Old Testament survey, and I went through each one of these, and there was at least 2 or 3 that I was like way off or I didn't even know. So you guys might be better than me at this. I already saw Colin say, give us something harder. So all right, Colin, we'll try. Here we go. Instructions off. We're gonna go clear. All right. I need is the volume on? Aha. Here we go. I just realized that the YouTube is making noise on here, so I'm going to pause that. All right. Do you know this story? Let me know in the comments, what's this story? All right, this is a pretty tricky one. Tricky. There's like one good telltale in there. I'm going to let you guys know the answer. Oh, all right. Jasmine got it. I guess it's not that hard, right? All right. It is the 10 Commandments. All right, so we're going to do another one. Clear that one. All right, how about this one? All right, how about this one, guys? We got a desert and a cactus. You got some fire. You got a tree. You got a talking bubble. Oh, man, I'm having more Dr. Pepper. Not a sponsor, but yeah. And we got a guy in a head wrap and a beard. All right, Moses and the burning bush. That's what people are saying right now. All right, you are right. Moses and the burning bush. Good job. You guys are killing this already. I was really hoping this would be a little bit harder, but I guess not. All right. Ready? This one's long. This one's longer. All right. I feel like this one's really easy, though. There's a boat, 2 dogs. All right, this is too easy. 2 rats, 2 cats, 2 animals. Has anybody heard the Noah's Ark song? If you've heard the Noah's Ark song, I don't know who sang it. I don't even remember where I heard it. My brother was like, when my brother was born, he would just listen to this ridiculously long song going through talking about how there's like no more unicorns on the earth, and it's because the unicorns were the only thing that didn't make it to the ark. Has anybody heard that one? If you haven't, that's okay. Go find it because it's pretty funny. All right, here's the answer. Noah's Ark. There you go. All right, let's clear that one. Here we go. Ready? I was supposed to hit that a little sooner. All right. Let us know in the comment section. What is it? It's I got a mountain. I got a ring, cow, some praise hands, and a cat. I don't know why there's a cat there. It's really weird. Yeah, it's a cat. Oh, did you say what it was already?
I guess.
All right, so I got some people in there saying the golden cow, holy cow, no clue. Reagan, that's okay. This one's really confusing. This was one of the ones that got me. Noah and the ark. No, we had the Noah and the ark, but that's all right, Gabby. Try again. Let's see. Colin says Abraham and Isaac. I'd like to know which one this is. Let's go. The golden calf. All right, so if you guys aren't familiar with this story, the golden calf. So Moses went up on the mountain, and he was up there talking to God. And while he was away from his people, Aaron and all the other Israelites were down at the base of the mountain, and they got so impatient waiting for Moses and God to arrive that they started worshiping a golden calf, like that they had fashioned out of jewelry and stuff. And so God, as you can imagine, wasn't very happy with that. But that's called the golden calf story. Go read the whole thing. I probably got a detail in there a little bit wrong, but I don't know. I could read it for you, but we're not doing Bible story time. We're doing game time, guys. Go read the story yourself. All right. Bonus points if you get this one. There's actually, that's no bonus. I'm supposed to hit the stop button. All right. Muscles, a date, a haircut, I think, which all of us haven't had one of those in a while.
Had one today.
Fake laugh, hiding real pain. Wait, what?
My grandma cut it.
You had your grandma cut it?
Yeah.
I wish I trusted somebody enough to cut my own hair. All right, so I got Samson and Delilah as a common answer going on right now. I like it. Supreme Memes says VeggieTales. Oh, all right, I can see why that would be a thing if you put a tomato and a cucumber on there. It's a cucumber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I watched VeggieTales. By the way, I grew up my entire life watching VeggieTales, not knowing that it was biblical at all. I had no idea because I had never even known what the Bible was. Fun fact. All right. Let's go to the next one. Here it is. We're heating up with this one. All right. Statue of Liberty. I didn't even know that was an emoji. A crown, 3 guys with beards, some fire, and a blushing smiley face. Go drink some more of my Dr. Pepper. Not a sponsor. Yet. Come on, Dr. Pepper. Sponsor us. All right. Let's see. I'm supposed to give you the answer. Radshak, Meshach, and Abednego. I like it. All right. So if you guessed the dudes walking in the fire, Hannah, you're absolutely correct. It is the dudes walking in the fire. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Say that 10 times fast. Don't comment it 10 times fast because that's cheating. All right. We're going to do another one. We have our last 2, and then we can go on to announcements, and we can get over this crazy technology hiccup that I have not perfected with this game. All right. I'm supposed to hit the button. What's this one? So we got an old man with a Friar Tuck haircut, which is better than my haircut right now. We got a knife. Maybe he used that to cut his hair. We got a guy with a beard. All right, so it's another dude. We have an SOS. SOS. If you can tell us in the comment section what SOS stands for, you're automatically like, you got this. You win this game. All right, and then there's a goat, and there's a ew, which that's the face that Reagan made a couple weeks ago when I used a word instead of haterade. I used a word for love, and it was just came out weird. Thanks, Reagan, by the way. Got my back. All right, so we got Abraham and Isaac again. We got Isaac getting sacrificed. We have Supreme Meme said he killed his brother. Who killed who, brother? But maybe you're not wrong. That might actually be a Bible story. I just don't know if it's this one. The guy that tried to kill his son, but God sent the sheep inside. There you go. Not his brother. Yep. Instead. All right. Colin said, "Save our ship." Good job. He got it. Yeah. SOS. Save our ship. I like it. I actually don't know. Funny thing about that is I used to work on a ship. I worked on a ship for 2 years, and I know what the what's it called? Morse code for it is, but I don't know what SOS actually stands for. I just know it means come help me. If you don't know the Morse code for SOS, it's deet 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 dot 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 deet 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 deet. So it's dits and dots. As if any of you have ever heard of Morse code, which if you haven't, it's okay. It's ancient. it is a way of communicating with dits and dots, which is a type of clicking thing. Yeah. All right. I didn't show you the answer yet. Here you go. Abraham and Isaac. Good job. Yeah. Abraham went to go kill his son up on a mountain, and God sent a goat to be sacrificed instead, which is pretty cool.
A ram.
Or, yeah, a ram. Thank you. Ram. That's why there's a ram there, not a goat. Silly goat. All right. I am not the goat, by the way. Here's the last one, guys. All right. Okay, this one should, yeah, it's probably easy. It should be easy. We'll see. What do you guys got? Yeah, buzzer is, I believe that's Trevor. Yes, U.S. Coast Guard, and I don't know SOS. I know, it's odd. I know how to Morse code it, and I know how to read it, but I don't actually know what it stands for. It's been so long since I actually got told what it means. I'm going to assume that Colin is right, that it means save our ship. We have Daniel on the line has a couple guesses. Lion in the den. Daniel on the lion's den. Sarah Kaniki said, or whatever. That's a good answer too. Daniel on the lines. Daniel, and then somebody said Indian boy, or denial. Denial, like in denial. That's in Exodus. But let's see. All right, Daniel on the lines. Then you're absolutely right. If you got that one, good job. Colin said, do not question me. I question everybody, don't worry. It's not just you, buddy. All right, so I'm going to put this away before I get into any more shenanigans with these games. And that was Old Test emoji instead of Old Testament. See what they did there? Yeah, that's right. I have to point that out. I don't know why. Why? Why are you on there? All right, we're going to turn this off. I don't know how to turn it off, guys. There we go. Learning how to use technology here. So, next up, if you enjoyed that game, awesome. Thanks for sticking with us during this. As you can imagine, or as you can see, I am having technical difficulties, and that just makes me spiral downhill until I'm like a little bit insane over here. So, next is announcements. All right. Got my caffeine. Let's talk about announcements. So, quarantine bingo has ended. Last night at midnight was the due date or due time. So we are going to be tallying those up, looking at everybody's results, gathering them up, and then we're going to be shooting out a message, probably through either Zoom or I'll go on Instagram. Either way, I'll post it, what the prizes are for each tier, and then you will get notified by myself or your small group leader what your prize is or what tier you got, and then we will get that prize out to you as soon as possible. Sorry, Dr. Pepper making me burp again. All right, and then the other thing that we have is quarantine talk is still happening. Whitney is still leading that on Friday nights at 8 o'clock. So please be there. And if you didn't get a chance to watch this weekend's or this Friday's, head there now or after the video and go and catch up on that. She's just always got an inspirational word for us, and she's got a great way, and she just, you can follow her lead into getting yourself into your Bible. If you've been joining us in the Love Hate Bible app series, awesome. I've been seeing a lot of interaction on there. I've fallen down. It's okay if you fall behind. I've fallen behind a few days, and then I've already started research, like going into the next one, which we will be announcing at the end of this video. The other thing is we have officially in Virginia entered phase 1 of going back to society in some way. I don't know. Phase 1 doesn't look any different, all right? Let's just put that out there. Phase 1 doesn't look any different for any of us. It doesn't mean we're going back to school. Doesn't mean that we get to party and like go and hang out at the beach anymore. No, it doesn't mean anything. But it does mean that certain businesses can open up. Churches are going to be allowed to meet. But, talk to your parents. Talk to them about what Crossroads is doing in regards to going back to services in-house in order to get the details. Aaron spoke about that this morning. I'll tell you right now, we are not going to go back until he has decided how. But next week, we will have a live stream still. And then for the next 2 services after that are going to be outside. So we're going to meet outside in order, and do a worship here, which is BYOC, bring your own chair. So bring your own camp chair, come out and hang out. We're going to stay 6 feet apart. We're going to be in I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but be there if you can. If your family, is worried about getting out and being social though, then just stay home by all means. We don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable coming to services. But if we could make it and be a part of worship with us on those 2 weekends for outdoor services, we'd love to see you there. And then lastly, join our Zoom chat. Yeah, fancy graphic that says exactly what I just said. We want to see your face. This is true. All right, so we are going to continue with Zoom chats every Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. That's 1800 for you military kids, military folk, military brats, however you want to say it. And then we will all use the same link, and we will break out into rooms. And that link has been sent to your leaders. Those leaders can get them to you. I'll be sending that out again this week to your parents just to make sure they have it. And then that way, if you don't somehow lose it in the text messages, just ask them for it. It'll be in their email. And then there was one other thing, and now I can't remember because I closed my laptop, and I don't want to open it back up because I'm really mad at that thing right now. Our next series. Beep. Our next series is called The U Effect, so please join us. We're going to be live streaming that. And as you can imagine, because the church is going to continue live streaming, we are going to continue live streaming as well. Being here, meeting online, meeting in Zooms, until we figure out exactly what CSM is going to look like when we start to move into the later phases of recovering from coronavirus. As some of you probably have been told and probably know, we don't know what this is going to look like. We don't know how the world is going to recover from this, how we're going to go back. Are we going to be wearing masks all the time? Are we going to only be able, we're going to have to make appointments to go to TJ Maxx, which I would not be able to, I can't do that. I just have to peruse. I have to go through TJ Maxx. It's so much fun. If you haven't been to TJ Maxx before, go to TJ Maxx. Just saying. But there's so many cool treasures, man. You just never know where you're going to find. Sure. So we don't know what society, what our world, what our communities are going to look like over the next few weeks. We can see them drawn out in these phases that the government has put out. But as you guys may be able to have noticed, some of these phases may just not make a whole lot of difference right away. People are still going to have a lot of apprehension when going out, and that's fine. But when it comes to finding out what we're going to do with CSM, we're going to continue to talk about that as the leadership team and try and figure out what that looks like for us going forward. And then for you seniors, we know that this is a tough time. Graduation is going differently. Somebody's trying to call me. I'm going to leave that alone. Graduation, may not be an actual walking celebration. And then, what does it look like to go back to school in the fall? And so before you guys make any speculations, before you get all worried about this stuff, just remember one thing. Whether we, Virginia and the peninsula decide to go back to school in the fall with only online school, or if they decide that they're going to carry on with normal school and just have different days, we don't know, but try not to worry about that, because all of this is going to be in God's hands. He is working all this out. He's not putting this on the world because he thinks that we can handle it. No, he's putting it on the world because he wants to handle it. He wants us to work in his spirit in order to get through these times. So don't focus on what may or may not happen, what may or may not be with our future, and just use his word, get into it. The Bible is not a self-help tool, but it is something that gives us life and encouragement. And it does, if we just put our focus on that, and if we worry about that, then that is now the most important thing in our life. Aaron said that this morning. What you worry about shows what is most important to you. So think about things you're worried about with school or with friends or with life, and try and shift that importance, shift that worry to the Bible, and put yourself there. Put your mind there, put your heart there, and that's all I have. So thank you again for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday. And for all of you that submitted in the quarantine bingo, thank you so much. I love your submissions. I love you all, and I can't wait to see you again in person. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.